The Georgia Aquarium, a marvel of modern engineering and a testament to our love for the underwater world, stands as a giant among giants. Housing over 100,000 fish, from the minuscule to the massive, within an aquatic expanse that exceeds a staggering million cubic feet. It took more than just ambition to build it. It required a colossal 328 tons of acrylic windows, 290 plumbing fixtures, a labyrinthine 61 miles of pipe and wire, and a whole lot more. And at the center of it all is the Ocean Voyager tank, a habitat so large it holds 3/4 of the total water volume of the aquarium itself. Imagine being gently moved through an underwater tunnel while a multitude of marine life passes above you. Yet, as awe-inspiring as all of this is, there's one element that truly sets this aquatic marvel apart. And that secret, dear listeners, you'll find out soon enough. What's up, my amazing and curious folks? Ready to unravel mysteries together? I'm your host, Caesar, and joining me in this aquatic adventure is the ever-vibrant Sonia. Are you ready, Sonia?
As ready as I'll ever be, Caesar Chagas. Hiya folks.
Fantastic. Now, before we dive deep into the mysteries of the Georgia Aquarium, do remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to stay updated on our daily episodes. Let's embark on this journey together, on the Curiosity Wonderland. The Georgia Aquarium, folks, it's not just a title holder for the biggest aquarium in the U.S. by mere chance. The building process was nothing short of an engineering marvel. Can you imagine the enormity of the task? The construction involved a whopping 328 tons of acrylic windows. That's roughly the weight of 2 full-grown blue whales. Not just that, there were 290 plumbing fixtures, 200 floor drains, and 53 roof drains connected with 1.5 miles of underground pipe and 5.5 miles of above-ground pipe. And wait, there's more. They installed 61 miles of additional pipe and wire, and poured a mind-boggling 100,000 yards of concrete, supported by 2,500 auger cast piles. It's a massive structure indeed, but it's not just the size that impresses. The Ocean Voyager tank, the largest habitat in the aquarium, holds a staggering 6 million gallons of water. That's 3/4 of the aquarium's total water volume. It's an aquatic metropolis, so big that pens at one end allow the staff to separate fish from the rest of the tank for examination. But folks, believe you me, that's not even the most fascinating part. Stick around and you'll find out what truly sets the Georgia Aquarium apart. What do you think? Are you ready to dive deeper into this underwater marvel? Now folks, setting up an aquarium of this magnitude is no small feat, but the Georgia Aquarium goes beyond just size and engineering marvels. It's the experiences it offers that truly sets it apart. Imagine this: visitors can journey through a 100-foot acrylic tunnel under the Ocean Voyager tank, guiding them through this enchanting underwater world from below. And it doesn't stop there. They also have an 800,000-gallon beluga whale enclosure, multiple touch tanks for a hands-on experience with aquatic animals, and smaller tanks showcasing a variety of species. The lighting in these tanks is no less impressive. While many of them use artificial light, the Ocean Voyager tank, the beluga whale habitat, and the large coral reef all get bathed in natural light. Creating the right environment for marine life is crucial. They used a staggering 1.5 million pounds of instant ocean sea salt to salinate the water for the marine exhibits. And guess what? They started with just ordinary tap water. That's right, 8 million gallons of tap water, enough to fill 160,000 bathtubs, was transformed into a welcoming habitat for marine creatures, all thanks to 752,000-pound sacks of sea salt. Such attention to detail, isn't it mind-boggling? But the Georgia Aquarium is not just about showcasing aquatic life. It also plays an integral role in conservation. Approximately 70% of the aquarium's animals were acquired from fish farms, zoos, and other aquariums, often rescuing animals living in unhealthy conditions. Their stories are well worth exploring, don't you think? Are you ready to meet a few of these intriguing inhabitants and hear their journey to the Georgia Aquarium?
When I was a child, I remember going to a local aquarium with my parents. I was fascinated by the underwater world, the colorful fish, the mesmerizing jellyfish. Everything about it was simply magical to me. It sparked my curiosity and ignited a lifelong passion for marine life. But compared to the Georgia Aquarium, that local one was like a drop in the ocean. The journeys these marine creatures undertake to reach the Georgia Aquarium is no less than an epic adventure. Whale sharks, the largest known fish in the world, transported in tanks weighing 54,000 pounds, flatbed trucks ferrying these majestic animals from the airport to the aquarium. It's quite a visual, isn't it? I still remember the thrill of watching the silver flash of tarpons at the local aquarium. Georgia Aquarium houses a school of tarpon, fish that can weigh more than 300 pounds when fully grown. They share their habitat with various species from different corners of the world, like cownose rays from the Georgia coast to exotic tropical fish confiscated by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. It's not just about housing these animals, it's about caring for them too. I remember feeling amazed at how the workers at the local aquarium would feed the fish, but the Georgia Aquarium takes it to a whole new level. With a specially designed kitchen that holds up to 20,000 pounds of food in its freezer, the staff at the Georgia Aquarium work tirelessly to ensure their marine residents are well fed, even going to the extent of including vitamins and medicines in their food. Thinking back, it was those childhood visits to the aquarium that sparked my curiosity and led me down a path to know more about these underwater marvels. Today, as we dive deeper into the world of the Georgia Aquarium, I feel that same sense of wonder and fascination. Ready to dive a bit deeper?
It's fascinating to learn about the diet and feeding process of these marine creatures. Just last week, I was reading about leafy sea dragons and how they feed on small shrimp called mysids. It's intriguing to know that the Georgia Aquarium mimics this diet for their sea dragons. Even the whale sharks have a special menu of pre-made gel food and krill. Feeding these marine giants is an art in itself, and the aquarium staff has mastered it using a gantry crane for the massive Ocean Voyager tank.
That's a coincidence. Just the other day, I was at a local marine rescue center, where I witnessed the feeding process of beluga whales. They were fed 4 times a day with fish, the largest consuming about 50 pounds of fish in those feedings. The dedication and effort to sustain these beautiful creatures are truly commendable.
Absolutely. And it's not just about feeding. The Georgia Aquarium also takes incredible care of the health of these marine creatures. Their veterinary services and conservation medicine facility are quite impressive. The facility, which is about 5,800 square feet, has 15 staff members and houses 26 treatment tanks and a fully equipped surgery. Imagine the scale of work done here. It's not just an aquarium, but a teaching hospital for aquatic animal specialists.
It's amazing how much we can learn from these institutions. I remember visiting a similar facility a while back. They also had a mobile, digital radiography unit that could take X-rays of animals as small as penguins and as large as whales. The level of technology and dedication to animal health is just extraordinary.
It's truly mind-boggling to comprehend the level of care that these animals receive. Not only are they provided with ample nutrition, but their health is also constantly monitored and cared for. Everything from routine endoscopies to vaccinations, the aquarium staff leaves no stone unturned. It's impressive to learn how the animals are trained for these procedures, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's heartwarming to know that these animals are trained in such a way that it reduces their stress during these examinations. From whales presenting their flippers for blood collection to penguins offering their feet for foot checks, every detail is carefully thought out and implemented.
And that's not all. The Georgia Aquarium also has a remarkable conservation system to maintain the water quality for these marine creatures. Even though the aquarium's tanks hold 8 million gallons of water, the facility only uses as much water as an average supermarket. The water is continuously cleaned and recycled, with only a minor fraction lost to evaporation and debris removal.
That's indeed fascinating. This recycling process is achieved through a system that includes mechanical filtration, fractionation, and the use of ozone. It's intriguing to know how these 3 techniques are combined to maintain a healthy environment for the marine life.
And the scale of these operations is colossal. It takes 218 pumps, 141 sand filters, and 70 protein skimmers to filter the whole aquarium. These pumps move 261,000 gallons of water per minute. That's equal to about 163,125 toilet flushes.
That's a lot of water. And it's not just about the amount of water, but also ensuring the quality of water is maintained. The goal of the life support staff is to filter and clean the water in less than 2 hours. The flow rates are also carefully monitored to maintain the right amount of dissolved oxygen in the tanks for the fish.
It just goes on to show how every aspect of these creatures' lives, from their health to their environment, is taken into consideration and cared for. The Georgia Aquarium indeed serves as an excellent example of how we can create a safe and nurturing environment for these incredible marine creatures. The complexity of the filtration system at the Georgia Aquarium is astounding. The sand filters they use work much like those in a home swimming pool, but on a much larger scale. These filters trap debris as water is forced through the sand at 15 to 20 psi.
Can you give an example to make it easier to understand how these filters function?
Absolutely. Imagine a coffee filter. The water, or coffee in this case, passes through the filter, which captures the coffee grounds and allows the liquid to pass through. The sand filters at the aquarium work similarly, with water being forced through and the sand capturing any debris. Then there are also protein skimmers, which inject air at a very high velocity into the water. This action creates microbubbles that attract debris. The debris-clad foam then overflows into a collection chamber which needs to be cleaned periodically.
That sounds interesting. Could you provide an example of how these protein skimmers work?
Sure, think of washing dishes with a sponge. When you scrub the dishes, the sponge creates foam that lifts the grease and food particles off the dishes. The protein skimmers at the aquarium work in a similar way, with the foam lifting off unwanted debris from the water. The entire system is automated, with 11 computers making a whopping 150 million decisions per second, but the staff still takes daily samples from every exhibit to ensure everything is running smoothly.
What kind of tests are they performing on these samples?
They evaluate the nitrogen cycle, ammonia levels, pH, salinity, and oxygen in the water samples from every habitat daily. They use an ion photography system to record anything that is positively or negatively charged. They also employ a high-performance liquid chromatography system to measure antibiotic concentrations and anything abnormal in the water. All of these careful measures ensure that the marine habitat is kept in an optimal condition for the health and well-being of the creatures that call the Georgia Aquarium home. One of the most appealing aspects of the Georgia Aquarium is its focus on education. For every exhibit, there are signs or touch screens that provide detailed information about the creatures living there. There are also education stations for additional learning opportunities, and touch tanks staffed with employees and volunteers, where visitors get to see and interact with the animals.
It sounds like a great place for kids and adults alike to learn more about marine life.
Absolutely, and the aquarium doesn't stop there. They also offer behind-the-scenes tours where visitors can learn about how the aquarium feeds and cares for its inhabitants.
That must be a fascinating experience. But what about the animals themselves? Do they have any special requirements?
Oh, indeed they do. For instance, the beluga whales, which only live in Arctic and subarctic waters, have their tank maintained at a constant 55 degrees Fahrenheit. The aquarium also runs a program called the 4R program, which stands for Rehabilitation, Relocation, Rescue, and Research. This program is supported by donations and focuses on improving the lives of fish both in captivity and in the wild.
That sounds like a very noble initiative.
Yes, and speaking of donations, the aquarium owes its existence to the generosity of Bernie Marcus, the founder of the Home Depot. He and his wife Billy donated $250 million toward the construction of the aquarium as a gift to the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia.
That's a significant contribution.
Yes, and they weren't the only ones. Various corporations, including Airtran Airways, BellSouth, and the Coca-Cola Company, made financial contributions and in-kind donations. Because of all this financial support, the aquarium was able to open debt-free in November of 2005.
It's heartening to hear about such community involvement in creating and maintaining this amazing habitat for aquatic life. It definitely serves as a model for other cities and states to follow.
The Georgia Aquarium is not just an aquatic habitat. It also contains a 16,400 square foot ballroom and food service kitchens.
A ballroom in an aquarium? That's quite unique.
Yes, it's part of their strategy to be self-sustaining. The aquarium rents out these facilities for events.
That's an excellent use of space. What about the temperature? I imagine maintaining the right temperature for each habitat would be quite complex.
Absolutely. The heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system can make 9,000 decisions per minute and has the capacity equivalent to 1,200 average-sized homes.
That's impressive. I assume the staff must be well trained to handle all this complexity.
Yes, there are over 200 people working at the aquarium, plus 1,000 trained volunteers.
Wow, that's a lot of dedicated people. It must be very secure too, considering the number of visitors and the value of the animals and equipment.
Absolutely, security is a priority. There are 99 video cameras and 97 proximity card readers. All visitors must go through a security check, and certain items, like guns, knives, matches, and even straws, are not allowed inside.
Straws? That's interesting.
Yes, straws can be harmful if thrown into exhibits. It's a small but meaningful step for the safety of the marine life.
I see, everything is thought out. What about the design of the aquarium?
It was built to meet the standards of the American Zoo and Aquarium Association, with a team that included architects, a general contractor, and an exhibit designer. The goal was to create a space that is both an excellent habitat for the animals and a great place for visitors.
It sounds like a lot of thought went into every detail. It's really amazing.
While the Georgia Aquarium is indeed the largest in the United States, it's not the only sizable aquarium worth visiting. There are other big ones like the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, Illinois.
What makes the Shed Aquarium special?
Well, it's not just one of the biggest aquariums in the world, it's also a National Historic Landmark. It houses a 3 million gallon Abbott Oceanarium, simulating a Pacific Northwest Ocean environment.
That must be quite a sight. Are there others like this?
Yes, there's also the National Aquarium in Baltimore, Maryland. It has a total water volume of about 2.2 million gallons. Its biggest exhibit is a 1.3 million gallon Atlantic bottlenose dolphin habitat.
Wow, that's huge. Any other big ones?
Absolutely. The Monterey Bay Aquarium in California is another one. It houses over 81,000 animals from 771 species in 1.9 million gallons of water.
That's a large variety of species. What are its notable exhibits?
Its exhibits highlight the local marine life, including a 343,000-gallon kelp forest and a 55,000-gallon sea otter habitat. But its largest tank, the open sea exhibit, is home to sea turtles and hammerhead sharks.
These aquariums sound fascinating. But going back to the Georgia Aquarium, is the dolphin show included in the admission?
Yes, the dolphin presentation is included with general admission, but there's an additional fee for preferred seating.
That's good to know. And what makes the Georgia Aquarium so famous?
Apart from being the largest aquarium in the US, it's also one of the largest in the world. No wonder it's so famous. So, as we've learned today, the Georgia Aquarium is a marvel of modern engineering and dedication to aquatic life conservation. It represents a profound commitment to education, research, and a passion for marine life.
It's truly inspiring to see how much effort and resources are put into such a place. It's a living testament to our continuous learning and appreciation of the aquatic world.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the size or the number of species it houses. It's about the experience it offers to visitors, the opportunity to learn and understand more about the marine world. It's about sparking curiosity and fostering respect for these amazing creatures and their habitats.
Well said. These institutions provide a vital connection between us and the aquatic world, and it's important to support them in their mission.
It has been quite a journey exploring the phenomenal Georgia Aquarium. From its astonishing size, housing over 100,000 fish, to the meticulous details of salinating water and feeding, it's clear that this place is a marvel of modern engineering and a testament to our dedication to marine life conservation.
And let's not forget the Herculean task of transporting all those aquatic animals, including the massive whale sharks and beluga whales. The whole process was a logistical masterpiece.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that behind the glass windows, there's so much going on that we don't see. It's like being on the surface of the ocean, you never know what's lurking beneath.
Couldn't agree more. This episode has certainly deepened our appreciation for these aquatic marvels and the enormous efforts it takes to maintain them. We hope you've enjoyed this dive into the world of the Georgia Aquarium as much as we did.
So, as we always say, don't just stand by the shoreline. Dive in and immerse yourself in the fascinating world beneath the surface.
And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of aquariums, do us a favor, will you? Hit that like button, leave your comments, and share our podcast with your friends. It means a lot to us.
Yes, it does. Your support fuels our curiosity and helps us bring more intriguing stories to you. So, until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and always stay curious.
Keep making a splash in your world, folks. Goodbye, and take care.
I came across this fascinating piece titled Inside the Biggest Aquarium in the US, Georgia Aquarium, authored by Tracy V. Wilson on the HowStuffWorks site, published on November 20, 2023. You can find the full URL in the video description if you wish to dive deeper into the topic. Until next time, folks.